So I did very lazy, very lazy cardio at home, like, you know, watching TV as you're barely walking. But I did that and it started dropping down on its own, but it wasn't to the point where she was comfortable taking me off. And right after my 6 weeks, I went in and she took me off the pills.
That's amazing. I'll let you guys know, so hypertension is one of the most common disorders in the United States, and people often do not get off blood pressure meds. So for someone to stay that committed and be able to get off in 6 weeks is pretty incredible. So a couple things you mentioned in here. What's your favorite thing about Whole Health Club? What made you want to like dive in full force?
I didn't want to give myself an excuse. So with the whole accountability, be there 3 times a week, the way I originally signed up, I was like, okay, I could do this. I'll sign up for a year. Don't want to give myself that out after the first 6 weeks. Because I know myself, I would have been like, okay, I did 6 weeks, it was great, I'm gonna go now. And then at 3 weeks, I decided to do unlimited, and I'm in there Monday through Friday. I still haven't taken a Saturday class, but I will get there. I'll get there. But originally, like that first day that I came into class, I remember a few people were there that were not, I mean, the coaches are great, you guys are awesome, but what made me really appreciate it is the rest of the members, that they were pushing me along. They're like, okay, come on, my first day, I couldn't finish, you got this, come on, just one more. And it was a group effort from everybody. And like, nobody looked at you because you couldn't do a push-up. Like, nobody made you feel bad, even though there are some people who are doing heavier weights than you, but everybody's there so supportive. It feels like a family.
And that's, you know, that's really just a testament to everyone sitting in this room that, you know, I always make corny jokes, like I love participators. And I think everyone in our family is a participator in that fashion. They always are there to encourage people and uplift people. And, you know, I want to wrap Anna's up with, she sent us a little thing, and her last line was said, you know, I'm lucky to have found a Whole Health Club. And, you know, as corny as it may sound, I think we're lucky that Anna walked in our door and we're able to get, you know, people that are that committed and able to share their journeys with everybody and come up in front of, you know, 50 people and say vulnerable things about hitting their rock bottom. That's a very unique, you know, personality type to be there. So I truly believe that we're lucky to have Anna, and it sounds like, you know, thank you to all of you guys as members for showing her the encouragement to continue on her journey. And we're nowhere near done yet. We're gonna continue to be healthy forever. So I'm excited to see where Anna ends up going forward here. But if everyone could just give her a round of applause for sharing. And she's dead. So you can return to your seat now. We now have replaced our queen with a king. So Jared's gonna come up here for us because we're gonna talk to our king here now. See how long our king lasts. On this beautiful Whole Health Club hat, it's almost like it belongs there. So I love Jared's story for a couple reasons. Because if you guys were here at our last event, his wife shared with us. There she is. And it was really cool that, you know, she was able to get Jared in here. But I thought it was pretty funny. After reading kind of what Jared said, I love a lot of what was sent to us. So, first question is, one, how long have you been here?
Officially, I've been with for 3 months, but with my wife, we've been here for about 10 months.
10 months.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to something you wrote here, if you remember. How did you feel when your wife first joined about it? What was some of your thoughts, and how did she get involved? Because I think my name might come up, and I do like to hear my name here.
Yeah. So we were sitting, I remember it specifically, we were sitting on the couch, and this guy, Sam, was on her computer, and it was just screaming. And come in and see what this is all about, and you know, you really got to get healthy. And it was, she's like, I'm gonna go do this. And I'm like, okay. I kind of just shrugged it off a little bit. And she went in that next week, and she completely dove headfirst in, and like, I mean, just completely, I swear, like all the meat went out of her fridge. It was just like, completely went plant-based, like just overnight. And
Yeah.
she just really dove in. And
How'd you feel about that?
I was skeptical at first. I was, you know, I mean, no offense to you.
I get it.
this guy yelling at a computer, you know, and you always hear these stories about people like trying to hit their fitness goals or whatnot, and like you're just always skeptical about that kind of stuff. Like I was skeptical at first, but then she got done with her 6-week challenge, and she was starting to hit some pretty big goals that she's always wanted to hit, and I was like, well, maybe this isn't. I mean, maybe this does work. You know what I mean? So.
And then I'll cut you off because I got this whole thing here. So. Then you came to our first Remember Your Why. And if you wow, if you remember, you felt some type of way kind of at the beginning when you came to that. Do you remember the words you used? 'Cause I like it.
Yeah. When I first walked in the door to the Remember Your Why, I was like, did my wife join a cult? First. But then I realized it's not a cult, it's a family base. It's a family base. Like that first Remember Your Why was just really cool. Like connecting with people, talking to people. You're a really big pusher on like challenging yourself and like getting to know people. And I was like, okay, I started buying in a little bit more at that point. Like, okay, now this isn't just a healthy lifestyle. This is like becoming like who you are. So.
And then, I believe Kirsten got you to finally come to a workout.
Yeah, my first workout.
How'd you feel about that workout?
I'm not competitive at all. Like, and Kirsten was doing mountain climbers, and I'm like, oh, I got this. Like, this is no big deal. And she's just busting them out. And then I think I did about 5 seconds of mountain climbers. And I'm like, okay. And then they're like, there's 20 more. And I'm like, okay. So it was definitely like, I was like, wow, this is cool. Like, this is, you know, I played hockey all my life, so like being part of a gym again was kind of cool. I enjoyed that. Like,
How'd you feel about Carissa on your first day?
Carissa kicked my ass. And I felt like she was pointing me out in every aspect of every gym exercise I could do. Straighten your back, lower your hips, and like, just almost made it miserable, but I got through it.
And here's what happened next. So I believe you got a Christmas present in your stocking.
Yeah.
What was that Christmas present?
So I opened up my stocking, and there was a WXC whole health gift card in my stocking. And I was like, all right, so I guess this is the time to kind of jump in, I guess. I mean, I've been eating plant-based with her, because she's the main cook in the house, so, I mean.
So wait, everyone who is the main cook, did we hear that? You didn't make him a different meal, right?
No.
That's what I want to hear right there. If you're doing the work, you make the dinner you want, not for the other people. That's what I would say.
If he was hungry, he would eat
Right,
it.
you gotta figure it out. So I love that. And then one thing I want to point out was like Kirsten's persistence. You know, on, hey, come to this workout. Okay, I still didn't get him hooked. Okay, hey, let me give him a gift card. Let me get my significant other, my person that I care about most in my life, to be on this with me. Because I'm going to keep doing it. It didn't seem like, I never heard really any wavering of Kirsten like, oh, I'm going to quit soon, you know, because it was never going to happen. So it was like, you know, get on board or you're just going to be left behind. And it was really, really cool. So then it went into what officially kind of kicked off your journey with us?
The 28-day challenge. That was my like official kickoff of the gym, was the 28-day challenge.
Yeah, so beginning to end, how did the workouts differ from when you started to the end there?
Oh, it was incredible. I mean, just the amount of strength I gained in that 28 days was incredible. I mean, I went from not being able to do a pull-up to I can do 6 or 7 now without a problem. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it was incredible how just 28 days, like, in the gym helped.
Yeah, and being committed. And I'm sure a lot of you in here were a part of that 28-day challenge, and that's a great, you know, we try to run those things to reinvigorate people or to get people started. So if you guys are struggling to get someone in there and you see that, like, again, proof's in the pudding. Drag your significant other in there for 28 days, and by the end, they're going to be hooked like the same people that came in for the challenge work. And then I do want to talk about something personal here, if that's okay with you, Jared, because I think it's awesome, and it's something that hits really close home to me. So if you guys have heard before, I've shared, my mom struggles with severe depression, and she's done so much work on herself and taught me so many things. And it was really cool when I started this health journey of my own, I could finally get back to my mom and teach her a few things that could help with that. And you know, Jared mentioned in here that Jared has struggled with some depression, you know, throughout his life, as I think, you know, there's a lot of people in here that can relate to that. How have you noticed some of the changes of whole health growth and how that affects the way you handle that depression or the way that it affects you in your everyday life?
Yeah, I think the main thing was I've been on like 20 different medications for depression, and each one of them helped in a little way or whatnot, but like the actual, I don't know if it's just eating healthier or whatnot, but I just, like, it's like the weight was lifted off my shoulders. I don't know what it was. It was a weird, like if you've never battled depression, it's kind of weird. Like you always have this cloud kind of over you, looming over you, kind of, and it's like, that's been kind of lifted off, which is crazy. I mean, because I've used all these medications and I come from like a medical background, so medications are supposed to work, but this lifestyle works better.
Food's a hell of a drug. So I mean, that's awesome. You know, if you guys have ever, and you know, I just think that's a testament to also the work that Jared put in, because that didn't happen overnight. So even during, you know, the first week, the first time, the first workout, the first plant-based meal, it didn't all of a sudden fix it. There wasn't this miracle thing. It was something that this consistency had to happen, and it still has to happen. It has to continue. And so, you know, to be able to push through that, to me, is one of the coolest things to hear. And you know, I think one of my favorite words I think would describe what Jared can't describe, and it's really an ineffable feeling when you just feel better, and it's because it's everything. It's not, you can't pinpoint, well, that broccoli I ate is what did it. That was it. It's like, that's never it. It's this whole community. It's, you know, his wife. It's their relationship getting better. It's them sharing something. And, you know, it's them putting in that work and remembering why they're doing it. So, again, I just want to give Jared a round of applause again for sharing with us. And we've now lost our king. We'll see if we can keep someone on this throne.
You killed the last two. I don't know if I want to go up there. Just sit here.
But do you know the power that comes with this
Listen,
throne?
I've never seen it.
This is the Iron Throne. There's power. You control all 7 kingdoms. So, our next queen we anointed is going to be Emily. Pop on up here.
Oh boy.
Off with her head.
Right away. Dad.
That's Alice in Wonderland.
All right. Yeah, you get on here. All right. So, Emily has an awesome journey, and I think it's one that, and she even kind of put that in here, I think is underlooked from a lot of us, and I think a lot of people, you know, would identify with it if we shared it, and that's a big reason we wanted to. Plus, I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever talked to Emily. Emily can talk, and I can talk. So this conversation may never end, so you guys might have to cut us off, but.
Just wait.
Yeah, she shuts down. So how long ago did you join Whole Health Club?
8 months ago. I started beginning of August 2018. So I think that's 8 months. Math is hard, so that's right.
You got it. I believe in you.
Okay.
So what was how did you join? How did you hear about us the first time?
So it was I think someone else had said it. I actually just saw an ad on Facebook.
Who's that?
It was Paige.
Mm-hmm. What was she doing?
Oh, so Paige was doing a handstand on a workout bench, and I at first was like, that looks really dangerous, so I clicked on it. I don't know, and then she did this handstand and she came down. She's like, do you want to eat healthy? Do you want to get in shape? And I was like, sure, I don't know. And that was it. That was all it took. I really just like thought that was really cool that she had the balance and the strength to do that on a workout bench. And I was like, this chick seems kind of cool. I had no idea, like, I just thought it was like another 24-hour fitness or Planet Fitness or like whatever it was. So I was like, all right, whatever, it's kind of close by.
Not doing that right now.
She's not.
All right, ready to demonstrate the handstand? So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Can we demonstrate? Please react, please no. So that's what it was. That's what kind of caught my eye.
And so, you know, we a lot of times ask about people's results, and I want to talk about, you know, Emily's results and how you guys can learn to find results from making these positive choices in so many different fashions. Like, if you've done the 6-week challenge, I think literally everybody in here did. You guys understand we do use a scale, we do use body fat, but there's so many other results. Jared shared a couple. You know, Anna shared blood pressure. Like, there's so many results. So what results have you seen, you know, since you started Whole Health Club? And if you can, we start with your 6-week challenge experience.
Yeah, so my 6-week challenge experience, I didn't do super great with it. I walked into Whole Health Club and Chase sent me down. He's like, hey, let's gain 6 pounds and stop eating cheese. And I was like, who is this guy? Like, no, absolutely not. But anyway, so it was tough for me because during my 6-week challenge, I was traveling for work, and like the guys were like, oh hey, like we're gonna go get In-N-Out Burger for lunch, and then we're gonna have Texas Roadhouse for dinner. And I was like, so then I would like text Chase, oh, I don't know what to do. He's like, well, just get extra veggies and don't eat the meat.
Yeah.
So the 6-week challenge was really unique for me because I didn't hit my goals, but I still liked the workouts enough and I liked the community enough that I I stayed with it.
Okay.
So that was kind of like, I struggled just with the 6-week challenge because I was so far from vegan. I mean, I ate cereal for breakfast, I had Kraft mac and cheese for lunch, and then it was like chicken nuggets. Like I ate like a 5-year-old before I finished it. It was terrible. And
So,
that's what it
I
was,
want to take
yeah.
that point. So being somebody who's, you know, on the thinner side
Yeah.
and eating that way, how did it make you feel when you tried to get healthy on your own
Oh,
around other people?
it was terrible. Like I always felt super like if I wanted to go out to lunch and get a salad, everyone was so like, well, what are you getting a salad for? You're so little. It's like, well, that's what I would like to eat right now. You know? So I think that was the big thing that caused me to stick around Whole Health Club was that I can say out loud, oh, hey, I'd like to actually like see the scale go up, or people aren't going to reprimand me for wanting to eat carrots instead of a hamburger. Like if I had $1 for every time someone was like, oh, go eat a hamburger, you twig. It's like I don't like hamburgers to begin with. So it was always like, even when I joined different gyms, I was always so judged. It was like, well, why are you even here? You're so little. It's like, well, that's not what being healthy is about. It's about feeling good. It's about, I don't know, it's not about what it reads on the scale. It's about how you feel, how you sleep, all the other things from that. And that was really hard because I went to 4 or 5 gyms before I found this one, and it was the same thing. They were like, you're so little. Why are you even here? It's like, I feel very shamed right now. It was terrible.
Yeah.
So.
And she made a very good point there. Like skinny and thin doesn't mean healthy,
No.
right? Like at all. And I think that gets us into trouble when, you know, I'm going to point him out because I talk about it all the time. Frank Menkel, if you guys don't know, a tall, lean guy, kind of has been, and Frank had a heart attack at 32. 32, right? Yeah. And that doesn't mean that, you know, just because we don't put on weight doesn't mean we shouldn't take care of ourselves or we don't want to. And too often in our industry, you know, on both sides, if somebody's trying to lose weight or is overweight, they feel shamed for trying to put in the work because they're bad at it. It's like, where are you supposed to start? And the same thing when you're thin. It doesn't mean you're healthy. And so they should be able to start and get healthy too. So let's go to when you actually joined Whole Health Club.
You're right. So I joined in August, kind of didn't do well with the 6-week challenge, decided to join anyway because I really liked the workouts. And then I went through the motions, I started becoming a little more conscious of what I ate. And then January, which was when the 28-day challenge was the first time I was like, you know what, this is my second chance at a 6-week challenge, no In-N-Out burger, like I'm not and I was so incredibly clean, like I stuck to it every single day, and like my acne cleared up. Like I had been on acne medication for like 10 years, guys, and I don't have to take it anymore. I was like, my taste buds started changing. Like I used to get it to expire every day at 2 from the vending machine. I can't even eat those. They're so sweet to me now. It's crazy.
Actually, go with that.
It's true.
So what happened?
It's true.
So you did this 28-day. What'd you do to?
I know. I wrote a lot. I'm sorry.
What'd you do to celebrate?
Oh yeah. So after the 28-day challenge, I had a wedding in Nashville, and I decided that's like the perfect end to being great. So we went out and we got Hattie B's fried chicken, and then we had lasagna and Oreos and a whole bunch of beer, and I threw it all up in a bush on Vanderbilt University. Like my body just was like, what are you? Like I just rejected it, and that was the moment as I'm like in the bush on Vanderbilt University in Nashville. I was like, oh, I'm not supposed to be eating this stuff. I was like, wait a second. So it took me from, like I said, I joined in August, and it took me until January to really like have it all sink in. And that was my biggest takeaway. It was like I came, I liked the workouts, and I was pushing the weights, and I was eating better lunches, I wasn't having cereal as much, but then it was like that one cleanse, and then my body just straight rejecting all of that shit. It was like, okay, this is my lifestyle now. So it worked out. It was nice. It was good to like have to hit that, I guess. Yeah, now we know. Yeah. It was great.
And I just want to make a point on that. Like when I probably, or whoever sat down with you, me or Austin or Chase, and we told you to go to this radical plant-based.
No.
Not one time, I would imagine, unless somebody can tell me otherwise, when we made you go plant-based and you dropped the other stuff, did our summer rolls or did our stir fry or did our unfried rice make you want to throw it all up from making that drastic change? However, on the flip side, if you stop eating garbage and you don't let your body get used to garbage and you try to eat garbage again, we have a first-hand account of what would happen.
It's happened twice. So.
There you go. And it's something
Just don't do it.
Or test it. Go ahead. I'm all about learning on your own. Trust me. Tell me it's high, I might not believe you. I'll burn my hand.
I think the big thing for me is I was a really big milk drinker, even as a kid, I mean, like breakfast, lunch, dinner. I used to take milk in a thermos to the movies because I would drink it. Like I loved milk, and so when I first joined, and Chase was like, "Yeah, no," I was like, "Okay, Chase," you know. And so I gave it up. Actually, I did give that up for my 6-week challenge, and then we got it after the 6-week challenge. I was making mac and cheese, and I was like, "Oh, I have milk again." And I took a sip, and I thought it was spoiled. And my roommate's like, "It's not spoiled." And I was like, "My taste buds changed." I got all excited, so I just like don't drink milk anymore. Like my grandparents like thought that was, they're like, "We've known you your whole life." I'm like, "Yeah, well, it's new Emily," you know. I was like, deal with it. So yeah.
And if you could, I want to share some of what Emily's results said. So if you could just read that very last paragraph for me, because I think that sums up it really well.
So yeah, I said, it took me a long time to realize that working out and eating is not about looking good in a bikini. It's about feeling good on the inside, not because the scale told you to feel good. And then I said I wouldn't have gotten that far without Whole Health Club. And it's true.
And the last thing I want to say about that is, obviously we love measurable results at Whole Health Club, and those are great, and all of those things. But ultimately, the way you feel is, to me, the single largest determinant of measurement of is what you're doing, on the right path, and that's what we should focus on. Because also nobody can minimize that. Nobody can be like, "You don't feel that way."
Yeah.
All right? Yeah, I do. If you lose 10 pounds and people are like, "Oh, only 10 pounds," they can minimize the things that you've earned. But when you truly feel good about the decisions you're making, it sounds comical when somebody tries to minimize it. They can't. They can't tell you you don't feel better about yourself or that you're not a better person. And so again, I want to appreciate Emily for sharing. If you guys get a chance, do a workout session with Emily. She'll talk the whole time, and by the time you're like, "Damn, we're done."
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's a great skill set, and I absolutely love that type of talkative in the gym, and I think it's amazing. And again, I just want to give Emily another round of applause for sharing that. Dead. So now we're kingless and queenless. So again, you guys, thank you for sharing. You guys can go back to And of course, you guys know I like to talk, so of course I'm going to do a little lesson here and just talk about something that really, spoke to me. And if you guys saw our beginning, please read Crystal's up there. But it was just getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I was scrolling on Facebook, as you often, and a video came up, and it was this rabbi talking about a lobster. If you guys have heard this, it's pretty cool, but I'm going to share it again because I thought it was really awesome to hear the life cycle of a lobster. And so we're going to do some biology today, everybody. So, if you guys didn't know, lobsters are soft, like vulnerable creatures by nature. That's what they are. And they live inside of this rigid, hard shell. That shell actually doesn't grow. So if you guys don't know, lobsters can actually grow unlimited to an unlimited size, as long as their lifespan. However, that shell never grows. Not one bit. So the only way that lobster can actually take that next step to grow beyond that shell is it has to feel uncomfortable. That's the first sign of a lobster. It starts to feel this pressure building on its own shell. And so once it feels that pressure and that uncomfortability, then it goes and it hides under a rock because it's about to be its most vulnerable and its most uncomfortable, and it sheds its shell and it regrows when it stays away from predatory fish while that rock. Then it regrows and it comes back out. And then when it wants to grow again, it has to feel uncomfortable. It has to feel this pressure. It has to go down behind a rock and hide from predatory fish that don't make it feel safe so it can grow. If a lobster does not feel safe, it will also not shed its shell. So it has to feel safe, it has to be uncomfortable, and it has to go do all of these things. So I want to go back to the beginning. When it says lobsters are soft, vulnerable creatures, it sounds a lot like humans. We're soft, we're vulnerable. And so often we put up these very rigid, hard shells, we don't want to change. And to me, those hard shells are staying comfortable. Don't ever push the status quo, right? And that's what we do. And then, in my opinion, just like lobsters, when humans want to grow, we need to go find a safe place to feel uncomfortable, to go to that next step, to break that shell, to move on again. And so we go and find that safe place. Maybe it's your significant other. Maybe it's an environment you have. Maybe it's your home, or maybe it's just having conversations with yourself. And then you'll go to that safe place and you'll shed your shell. And I like to think that's what a lot of you guys are doing at Whole Health Club. You're coming to a place that makes you feel positive, where there's not these predatory fish or all these fake people out there telling you certain things that you shouldn't believe because that's not you. We're also making you uncomfortable each and every day by asking you to do a little more and a little more of things that you didn't think you could do